The time has come. Execute order. Subscribe the Crimson Sith.
Right away, sir.
Today we explore a new game. It is a deck building game in my universe. I have orchestrated a war between the Republic and the Separatists. This is the Star Wars Clone Wars Edition deck building game. And today, I will show you how to play. So this is the Star Wars The Clone Wars deck building game. It's a two-player game. It can be played with teams, but we're just going to talk about the core game today, which is a 1v1 game. And the way it works, one side is Republic, one side is Separatists, and you kind of play out the Clone Wars. Deck building games are about purchasing cards to build a deck, which allows you to move towards an objective to end the game. In this game, each side has a base, which is the kind of objective to destroy. The health there is on the bottom. You can see 8 for these. There are a deck of bases. In the starter game, you have 3 bases you have to destroy to win. And then after the first game you play, you're supposed to play to 4 or more, just an agreed upon amount. And after you lose your starter base, then you have to pick another base. You have to pick your next few. And the deck building game, it's a deck building game, so you have to every turn like try to buy cards and do different things to try to strengthen your deck. These cards in the middle are cards you can purchase. They are randomly revealed with the exception of the deck on your right, which is just always there. They're revealed from this deck on the left. And that is the Galaxy deck. And then these are the cards in the Galaxy cards that are put out. So you can see the cost is in that like yellow number. That's the cost to purchase the card and get it out of there. Whenever you purchase a card, you pull another card out of the deck and put it in its place. Some are Separatist cards, and some are neutral, and some are Republic. And they are always put out facing the direction of the player that is playing that faction. There are rewards you'll see on the bottom of some of the factional cards, and it faces the other side. So what that means is if you can total that number that faces the other side, if they're attacked by the other side and destroyed, they're either sabotaged or like killed by the opponent, and then the opponent gains the reward that's listed on the card there. Now, there's only certain people that can do that to neutral characters. That's why they don't have rewards on the neutrals. And some things don't have rewards, like that ship there. So that's kind of the way it runs. And then you'll notice below the cost, it shows what the card does. There's a little icon. So like if you play that card, you gain 2 resources. And also over here, Anakin has a blaster side, which means he can do 4 damage to something. That's how you do damage to bases. That's how you do damage to cards. Also, he has that little symbol, the circular symbol with a 1 next to it. That means force. There's a force tracker on the side. The force always starts completely on the side of the Republic, which means at the start of their turn, if it is there, they get +1 resource. And if it were completely on the Separatist side, they'd get 1. And so by playing a card with a force rating, you can pull it, the cube there, one closer to your side. So it doesn't really help them there if they were to like have Anakin and play him, because they're already fully in the Republic's light side, or it's debatable whether the Republic is the light side, but you know what I mean. And yeah, that's in a sense that's the game. The way to protect your base is to put out ships like that Counselor class cruiser. If the Republic player actually had played that, they would have they would be able to take the health. You can see it's 2 health. The health would be taken from that ship before it would go to the base. So a person playing an attack card would have to attack the ship before they attack the base, which is good because, you know, when the base is destroyed, they lose. So let me show you an example of a turn. Every turn you draw 5 cards out of your deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you get to play what you have. There's a ton of actions you can do. So you can play any and all possible actions on your turn you can do in any order. So I can go ahead and play these Separatist shuttles. They have 1 resource apiece. You can tell by the icon there. And that would allow me to gain a resource, which are represented by these yellow cubes for each one that I played. Then there's a dark side agent I could play there, and that doesn't have any symbols naturally, but the ability on the card, which by the way, card abilities are optional whether or not you want to play them or not. But anyway, this ability is I can either basically give the card a blaster side, a resource, or a force. So the dark side agent can act as whatever I need it to be. In this situation, let's say I want to do a force. So when I play him, I come over here and I can move the cube over 1. So now it is off of the Republic side. Separatists always go first. Republic always starts with full force. And that is so the Separatists have a chance to counter the Republic and move the force off of their maximum side before their turn. So it's a way to stop the Republic from starting with an extra resource. Moving back down, I'm not done with my turn. I still have some cards. These are droid cards. These are the starting attack cards that you start with. There's 10 cards you start with. They're always the same. They're marked as starting cards. There's a little text on the bottom. And these 2 droids are 2 attack apiece. So what I can do here, when I play them, is I can choose to attack something. So I could attack, something in the middle, but what I'm going to do is attack the enemy base, because that's my objective. That thing has 8 health, and I can do 4 damage. So I'm going to take cubes, numbering in the amount of damage I'm doing, and I'll drop them off on the card that marks and tracks how much damage I've done. So I've done 4 damage out of 8 to the base, and that is the end of my turn. Next, for the Republic, they would go, and they no longer have the full force, so they don't get +1 resource. Oh, I totally forgot the purchase. So as the Separatist here, I will lose my resources unless something is allowing me to keep them through the turn. So I have 2. I'm going to spend 2 to purchase a card. I'm going to purchase the Stap in the middle. So this seems like a pretty good card. It doesn't have anything that allows me to play it now, so I'm going to have to go ahead and put it in my discard. And also I have to replace the card with another card from the Galaxy deck. So that is the end of my turn. I'll clean up my cards, they all go to discard, and then I'll pull 5 more cards for next turn. And yeah, that is the Galaxy deck, by the way. And then there's also a deck on the other side of Outer Rim Pilots. I think that's just so there's always something available for people to buy. But, yep, it's a deck building game, so we're always purchasing cards is the thing. The Republic's turn. Let's see what they get. They have 3 Republic shuttles, so I'm gonna use them to gain 3 resources. Whoops. 2, 3. There's a Jedi Knight there, so I could try to, you know, fight them back on the whole force front, or I could use it to gain a resource. I'm going to use the Knight to get a resource and get up to 4. And then I'm going to use those 4 to purchase that space yacht that was revealed. And that'll go to their discard pile for now, because they have to draw it in order to play it. And then they also have a clone trooper, so now I'm going to play the clone trooper to do 2 damage. And what I'm going to do instead is, let's say they want to get Newt Gunray out of there. They're going to shoot Newt Gunray, who has 2 health. So that will succeed in killing Newt. Newt gets added to a new discard pile for the Galaxy deck. And then a new card is revealed, which is a droid control ship. And that's a good card for the Separatists. And also, since they killed Newt, they gain the reward below, which says to gain 1 force, which over here, as we know, will swing them back to being full force, which will benefit them next turn if they still have that, because it'll give them an extra resource. So anyway, with their turn now being complete, all those cards are taken and go to the discard pile, and they draw their next 5 cards. I'll go ahead and show another turn here. The Separatists have 5 shuttles, so they're going to gain 5 resources. Well, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and purchase that droid control ship, because that's really good for 4. I go to my discard, pull out, oh, it's Clone Commander Cody, look at that. And I still have a resource left. And I'm also then going to go buy this pirate, because it costs 1. Buy the pirate, pull another card, another space yacht. And I can't do any attacking because I don't have any attack cards. So that'd be the end of my turn. After I discard my cards there. Now it's back to the Republic. So the Republic purchased Cody, and then we got a new Separatist ship, and then the Clone Trooper card was played to do 2 damage to my base. So now that we're used up all the starter cards there, everyone has to shuffle their discard pile, and that will become their deck. So you can see now how you start to see now all those cards you purchased that went into your discard, they are going to be now a part of your deck, and now they'll be playable. So that's how you get cards out there. And that's the point of deck building games. They always, slowly accumulate cards in their deck. It's all about trying to get cards in your deck that are going to help you, and getting more cards of the same card type, if there are, to try and strengthen the probability that you will have what you need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for when it's their turn. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're always supposed to have 5 cards in your hand. Separatist turn. they're going to play a shuttle and another shuttle to get 2 resources. And I'm going to play a droid control ship, which I will put next to my base. It has 2 resources, so I'll go ahead and get that. The nice thing about ships, they stay until they are killed, and I can always, at the start of my turn, get the resources or the blaster side or whatever it has at the start of my turn every turn. So they're really, really good. Capital ships are really, really good. Next up, I am going to play a Stap for 2 resources. So I'm up to 6 now, and I think I'll stick with that. Actually, I am gonna go wild, and I'm gonna get another resource with that agent. And now that means I can get a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna spend 3 on this ship, put that in my discard, reveal an AAT. Oh man, I wish I had enough for that. I have 4 resources left. I'm gonna spend that on the space yacht. I'm gonna buy up all the ships, so my opponent will have trouble getting capital ships, even though they have a consular ship out there. But yeah, that's my turn. Then the Republic is gonna reveal that they have 3 shuttles, get 3 resources, and let's see. Oh yeah, they get a free resource at the start of their turn because the Separatists did not pull them away on the Force. So then they're gonna have 4 total. Let's do another one with the Jedi Knight. Hold on, I forgot to get my 3 for that. And then we're gonna play this in a minute. First, we're gonna spend the 5 to get Anakin in our discard pile. He's very good. Looks very good anyway. Oh, and Obi-Wan shows up. Cool. And then I'll play the Clone Trooper and do 2 damage to something. And let's do it to the enemy base. So now we're tied for 4 damage on there. And their Separatist was supposed to draw 5 cards, and then Republic would also draw 5 cards. And this play continues until we've destroyed the base, and then another base is drawn, and you continue on and on and on like this throughout the game. And it speeds up and gets increasingly more interesting as you gain different cards in your deck, play them through, and play is pretty fun. It's hard to see with just a couple rounds what it's like, but it's a typical deck building game. If you're not familiar with deck building games, they're really fun, kind of fast paced. Can be played on any tabletop game. The most popular is probably Dominion, that people have heard of. Dominion doesn't have combat like this does, so this is a little bit of a different style deck building game, but it's fun. It works pretty well. It's a lot simpler. There's less decks to deal with. Dominion has a bunch of different decks. Don't get me wrong, Dominion's a great game. I think still a better game than this one, but if you're a Star Wars fan, this is a lot of fun. So, in fact, even if you weren't a big Star Wars fan, I think you'd still enjoy this. The combat mechanics are pretty cool, and the games are really short. This is definitely a shorter game, I think, than Dominion. Pretty close to the same length, but once you have like the mechanics and how to play down, I think this could go faster, just because once you get better cards in there, combat cards, it seems like you can destroy the bases quicker than you would be able to like get the buying power in Dominion to buy certain decks to end that game. So the end goal is quicker here because there's no victory points. It's just kill. So slightly faster than Dominion, even though they both say that they're 30-minute games. I don't know. I've never seen a Dominion game that only took 30 minutes, but I have played a round of this already that was 30 minutes. So this is probably a little more true to its game time, which is impressive because games usually underestimate their game time a little bit, probably to get people to buy it. But this one was pretty on the money, closer than a lot of other games I've played. So yeah, highly recommend it. This is actually the second version of the game. They came out with an original trilogy version, which I also have right over there. And I haven't opened it yet though. I kind of jumped right into this one. So this is the newer version, a newer edition. They can be played together as well. There is a rule set in the back of the rules where you can mix and match factions. So you can have the Empire versus the Separatists, or the Republic versus the Rebellion. You can do some interesting mix and matches between the games if you own both. So kind of cool. And yeah, that's just about it. I recommend the game. It's pretty new, but it definitely got a good position in my collection now for kind of like being fairly top rated. It's because Dominion is already up there, and this is pretty close to Dominion for me. Dominion's just barely ahead of it. And who knows, maybe I'll like the other one so much more that it'll pass it up. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to do a lot more tabletop games. I have an extensive game collection, like physical game collection, so going to do some reviews, talk about some games that are great. I have a lot of obscure games maybe you guys haven't heard of, and yeah, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you want to see and what you like or didn't like, and it helps everyone out. Alright, have a good one.